Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make these cute little coasters. And you can see I'm already using one. I kind of just stumbled upon it one day. So basically I was working on this crochet spider web hat tutorial on Bobwilson123's channel, and I was just just kind of trying to figure out things, figure out what's what, and then I ended up stopping and switching hook sizes and yarn and stuff like that, and I ended up with this, and I'm like, wow, that actually makes a wonderful coaster. So why don't I use this pattern, alter it a little bit, and end it very prematurely, and then come out with coasters like this. So that's what I did, and in today's video I will be showing you how to do just that. So let's get to it. Alright, things that you will need are two different color yarns. I'm using medium 4, I think that's the worsted weight, a pair of scissors, darning, tapestry, weaving needle, a crochet hook size I USA, and then if you have one, this one is optional, but a smaller crochet hook, just if you happen to have it. If not, it's no big deal. Now going back to these, the color that we're going to start with will be the color that creates this webbing. Okay, so in this case I started with the blue yarn, in this case I started with the yellow yarn, and in this case I started with the red yarn. Today we're going to be starting with the turquoise. Alright, so we're first going to start out, just my camera, I always have to do this, by chaining 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we're going to go to that first chain and create a slip stitch. The tail is always in the way, isn't it? Alright, and then we have created our little ring. Now we're going to chain 1, which does not count as a stitch and will never count as a stitch in this pattern. And we're going to put 10 half double crochets into the ring. So we're going to go in that circle. The way you do a half double crochet is you yarn over, go through, yarn over, pull through, and we have 3 loops, and then yarn over and go through all 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, push the tail out of the way, 8, don't hit the camera like I just did, 9, and if you're running out of room, just push the stitches back a little bit, and then one more, 10. So we have 10 half double crochets. And you guys know I'm going to always have you count your stitches, since that's important. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so we have that chain 1 at the beginning right there. We're going to bypass that and we're going to go to this first half double crochet. And we're going to go into the top of it, and then we're going to slip stitch there. Alright, now we've completed the ring. Now this is where we switch our yarn. So we'll chain 1, and then we'll get our scissors and we'll cut. I know, it's so sad. I love the color and we're switching already. Pull that and tighten. Alright, so remember, this is that first stitch, the first half double crochet, and that's where we're going to start with the next color. So we just put that in there like that. Okay, so it's waiting for the yarn, and I grab the yellow yarn, and then I hook it on like that. Okay, so you guys see that? So that's the other, and that's the short end, and I hook it on like that, and I'm grabbing, see how I have it? I grab it between the fingers like that, and I hold it, and then I'm going to pull it to the front. And try not to get any of the blue while you do that. Okay, now I'm going to hurry up and make a chain 1 so I can kind of secure it, and then I go back to this tail and I pull it like that. So for this row, we're going to put 2 half double crochet into every stitch. So I'm just going to start that. Remember, we did a slip stitch into that first half double crochet. So that means we're going to put our first 2 half double crochet into that same hole with that chain 1. So we just go in there, and once again try to not get any of the blue. Yarn over, go through all 3. This yarn is really splitting today for some reason, probably because I'm doing a tutorial. No, it was splitting when I was making the other coasters as well. Alright, so we're going to go into the tops of each half double crochet and put 2 half double crochet in there. So this is 1, 2, next stitch there, right there, 1, 2, next stitch there, 1. And it can be a little tricky trying to go through 3 loops at a time, so just make sure you have your hook angled properly, okay? I'll meet you once we get to the end of this round. Alright, I'm at the end of the row, and I should have a total of 20 stitches, so I'm going to count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. Very good. Now it's time to do a slip stitch. So I'm going to slip stitch into the top. So there's the chain 1. I'm going to slip stitch into the top of the first half double crochet of this round. Yarn over and pull through until there's only 1 loop. Now I'm going to continue working in this color. So I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to put 1 half double crochet into the same stitch. And then I'm going to go to the next half double crochet, which is there, and put 2 half double crochet. And that is the pattern from here on out for this round. So 1 half double crochet in that stitch, 1, and then 2 half double crochet into the next stitch, 1, 2. Okay, so 1, 2, 1, 2. Continue around. I'll meet you at the end. Okay, you should end with 2 and 1. So here was the second to last, and there's 1 half double in it, and then this is the last stitch of that round, and I put 2. So 1, 2. It should end 1 to 2. And then we're going to slip stitch with the first half double crochet of the row. I'll be happy to switch back to the turquoise as this yellow yarn splits like crazy. Okay, now we're going to chain 1, cut our yarn, pull tightly, and then remember where we are, insert our hook, and we're going to grab the turquoise yarn and do just like before, pull it through, and then chain 1. And then pull the tail in the back. Alright, this one we're going to do 3 half double crochets, and then we're going to do our first ever front post double treble. So let's just take it step by step. So a half double crochet into the same stitch, 1, next stitch, 1, and then next stitch, 1. Okay, so there are 3 half double crochets. Now we're going to do a front post double treble. So remember, the front post, that just tells you where you're going to be entering from and where you're going to be coming out. Okay, so front post, you enter from the front, go to the back, come out through the front. Double treble, I've never shown you that, but it's not hard. You just wrap 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So you yarn over 3 times. And now we're going to go all the way back down to round 1. So if you look at this, you see this stitches in those 2, and then those 2 are in that one, and then those 2 are in that one. That's where we're going to go. That's where we're going to put our first front post double treble. So we've yarned over 3 times, and then we're going to go all the way down here to that one. Okay, enter through the front, go to the back, come out through the front. Now we're going to yarn over, pull through to the front. And this is the fun part. Yarn over, go through 2. 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 And that, my friends, is a front post double treble. Okay? The double treble, remember, that's the type of stitch that you're doing, and the front post part just tells you where you're going to be positioning that stitch onto another stitch. Now we have to do 3 more half double crochets, and this is still an increase round, so we're not going to skip any stitches. So if you pull this front post double treble over, you'll see, there's one right there. See how it kind of hides it? So we're going to yarn over, pull that over a little bit. There it is. We're gonna put a half double in that stitch. That yellow yarn just doesn't want to stop messing with me. Okay, and now we have 2 more. So 1 in there, and then the next stitch, 1 in there, and then the next stitch, which is there, 1 in there. Okay, and guess what time it is? Time for another front post double treble. So we yarn over 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Now this is really easy. You don't ever have to guess or wonder what half double crochet down here you're going to go into. Okay, you did the hard work when you located that one. Now you just go into the next one. Okay, all around. So what's the next half double crochet down here? Well, we were in that one, so now we're going to go into this one. Okay, so going from the front to the back and coming out to the front again. Yarn over, pull through, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, and we're just going to keep doing that. So we have 3 more half double crochets to put in. Don't forget to move this front post double treble over and put 1 there. So 1, 2, 3, and then we'll do another front post double treble there and go into that one. 3 more half double crochets and another front post double treble into that one, and so on. All right, and that is the pattern. I will meet you at the end of this round. All right, I thought I'd check back in, so I have to do 3 half doubles now. I move that out of the way and I go into the next stitch. 1, 2, and it's a little split there. Here we go. 3. Time for a front post double treble. Let's see. That was the last one I went into, so I went into this one. By the way, you want to keep a good tension when you're doing this. Keep it nice and snug so it doesn't get too loose. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Okay. Half double time. Move that out of the way. Go in there. 1, 2, and 3. And that's the last one of the row. Okay. And you're like, oh my gosh, there are no more stitches, but it looks like I need another front post double treble. Well, that's not a problem. We'll make that. So yarn over 3 times, 2, 3. And then down here, I like to go into just this big blob down there. Technically, that's the stitch right there, but I like to go in that big blob because I think that was where I did the chain 1, if I'm not mistaken. Chain 1, and then I slip stitched into that whole piece there, the first half double crochet, but it just makes ends up making a huge blob there. So I like to just front post around the whole thing, basically like that. And now I'm going to do a slip stitch into this half double that began the round. See? Okay. Chain 1, cut my yarn, and pull through. And this is how you make these coasters. That really cool. Okay, so in terms of what to do with all these tails, since this is a beginner's course, you know, this channel is pretty much for beginners. I'm going to teach you just something really easy just to get them out of the way. So I'm going to take the two that are closest together and I'm going to tie a couple of knots. So one, and then another one, two, and then cut the excess down. It won't really matter much because this is going to be the part that's not facing. It's going to be on the bottom, so you don't really have to worry about how it looks. You know, aesthetics don't matter a huge amount with this. And cut those off down. Okay, this one, I like having this hole. Normally I would tighten it and then use the darning tapestry weaving needle to close the hole, but I like the hole, so I'm just going to shorten it so that when it's laying flat, you know, it's not necessarily being seen. I can move it out of the way so it's not seen. Alright, and then the last one, I am going to use my darning, weaving, tapestry needle, whatever you want to call it, to kind of go through just a few stitches in the top. Okay, so I've shown you this before. Just kind of go in some stitches. And when you pull, you know, make sure you stretch it back out. You don't want it to alter the shape of whatever you're working on, in this case a coaster. Okay, and then I will take it back through different parts of the stitch to kind of lock it in there like that. Okay, once again I pull it back out, and then this is optional, but if you have the smaller crochet hook, I've shown this before as well, I like to go into a loop, a nearby loop, pull through, and then yarn over like I'm making a chain stitch, and then go through like that, and then that creates a knot. And now cut this down, and you can weave all the other, you know, tails in instead of just tying a couple of knots and cutting. You can weave them in like I just did, but it's just not that big of a deal. It's a coaster, people. It's a coaster, you know. But yeah, this is the finished project. So, and it works well. You know, you may think because it's kind of bulky that it wouldn't serve as a great cup holder, but it works really well, especially for like coffee mugs, because, you know, as you stretch this, as it stretches out, my tension was a little tight on this one, but that border there, the unintentional border, those heads of all those stitches, it becomes like a nice little rim for it, and it just kind of sandwiches the coffee mug in, you know. So I would probably do it, most of them, in, you know, darker colors, because I'm always drinking coffee or tea, and so even if I do spill a little bit, it won't be quite as noticeable. But I think it's really, really cool. It serves as really cool coasters. So I hope this video was informative, and I hope you like the coaster pattern. Let me know if you decide to make yourself some coasters. And yeah, that is it for this video. So I will see you in the next one.